You can find them on Twitter, you can find them on the gram. After listening to their podcast, you'll be sitting there like, damn, taking their teaching from one level to the next, reaching up to Canada and down to Mexico.
What surprised me was how quick the kids started to adapt to things.
Right.
And you talk about having online courses, and as adults, we've taken online courses in college, and Ron and I had recently gotten into UDL. So we had been using videos in class, and I teach third grade. So it was, I started a lot different, probably where you might have started with high school students. But that's what was great was when we started that in September. So when we started pushing forth new instruction through the use of video, our kids already knew, well, number one, we weren't giving them a video for a third grader longer than 3.5 minutes. Excuse me. But then, they would able to watch, pause, think about something, write something down, go back, review things. So that platform was already there. And that's, Ron and I have been pushing just ideas like this for a while, and people are like, yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, look at that. That's awesome. And now it's like, what do they say when it hits the fan? Like Ron's phone was ringing off the hook.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The emails, which is great, because now it's like, ooh, Ron and I have been talking about this type of thing, just this type of teaching, definitely heavily for the past year. And now it's like people are starting to realize, man, it can work and it should work.
And it can be useful when we go back to the classroom.
Right.
Most definitely.
Right. One of my friends, George Porter, is a tech coach and a high school English teacher in my district. And he goes, I really think I'm going to start each class with this like 5-minute, 10-minute instructional video. If you've got it, you cut over here. If you don't have it, come on over here. But the amount of focus will be increased because the student is listening, watching. They can ask the questions. I can go over here and get more help, or nope, I got it. The decrease in any sort of behavioral distractions, instead of like, hey, I need everyone's attention. Everybody up here. Everybody. Nope. Hey, Sammy, Susie, come here. I need your attention. So those little lessons seem to be applicable to the everyday classroom. But I agree. My whole life for the first month was answering questions for teachers, and it won't work. I can't hear the thing, I know it's the worst.
What I learned was, maybe I didn't run as good a classroom as I thought I did. So moving forward, like next year, when we do go back to the classroom, because I think that is inevitable, no matter how we get back there, to not necessarily have a schedule, but a to-do list. To where like these at 8 and 9 years old, they've shown, there was 2 assignments to do today. And some kids, and I don't know, maybe with high school kids, you didn't see this, but at 8 a.m., things are getting worked on and turned in, where some kids are doing it at lunch. We had one little girl that liked to sleep till 11:30, and she would get up and start, and it's like, why can't they do that? And if you teach them how to check this video out, if you got it, move on. Or for math, it's great. Take this pretest, which Ron, when did you show me that? Years ago, right?
Yeah.
I mean, take before we do chapter 4, any lesson, here's a chapter 4 test. If you can get an A on it, why do you need to sit through all of my lessons from 9:25 till 10, 07? Like that's
right for the next week and a half or 2 weeks. Like, oh my God, can you imagine as an adult?
The multiplication chapter, lesson 1, multiplying with 2, lesson 2, multiplying with 3, lesson 3, multiplying with 4.
And the poor kid's like, I got it.
There's 4 multiplication chapters.
Right.
So it's just, a matter of just revamping and relooking and giving those kids the opportunity to say, listen, if you can do it, do it. And now granted, they won't all be able to do it, but that's why you'll still be there to say, all right, so you need this, we'll call it a lecture or a mini lesson, a 10-minute mini lesson with me. But that's hard putting all those pieces into place, because now you have, I guess, projects or things you have to do for those kids that can get it and run with it. Which is why those, things like WeVideo, Google Sites, give them those opportunities to take it to the next level. But I mean, that's those are a lot of pieces to put. That's a big jigsaw to work with.
It is a big, and I know that, especially as elementary school teachers, you do stations. Mm-hmm. This is totally foreign to us as secondary teachers, you know? And so when I was, that's genius. So I could have somebody over here working on this, and I go, oh my gosh, you guys are so smart, you know? And
they are smart. They're so smart.
They're so smart. And the students can help design those stations.
Yep.
Like, okay, if you can multiply, like, I love the idea of allowing students to show how much self-management skills they really have by letting them be independent and letting them be at their own level, instead of trying to keep everyone quiet. So that we can keep don't move, don't touch, don't do don't, where are you going? Why are you doing that right now? I need you to sit down. Don't sharpen your pen. I need you to start. Why don't you go outside for just a bit, you know? But showing them that they can manage themselves, that they are independent, that they are fully capable, and if they have a question that you're there.
Thanks for listening to the Teacher Nerds podcast. Keep up with every new episode by subscribing on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, Anchor, or anywhere you listen. Remember to visit teachernerds.com, and that's nerds with a Z. Follow us on Twitter @TeacherNerds and on Instagram @TeacherNerdsPodcast. And thank you for being one of the Teacher Nerds.